Approximately 2,000 people protested for regime change in Iran outside the residence of British Prime Minister Keir Starmer on Sunday, January 11th, as flags backing the exiled son of the last Shah of Iran mingled with Iranian, Israeli, and English ones. The crowd marched to Downing Street from the Iranian Embassy a couple of kilometers away, chanting slogans supporting the protesters. Some carried placards with the image of Reza Pahlavi, the exiled son of Iran's last Shah, and a prominent voice in the fragmented opposition.
First is Shah coming after bringing democracy, because after that is everybody needs choosing is the Shah or different people. First is, I think, is Shah needs come, and after everybody is the choosing which one is the good.
The Stop the Hate organization that normally organizes pro-Israeli demonstrations figured prominently in the organization and set up of a platform from which speakers address the ground. Unrest in Iran has killed more than 500 people, a rights group said on Sunday, as Tehran threatened to target U.S. military bases if President Donald Trump carries out threats to intervene on behalf of protesters. Iran has not given an official toll, and Reuters was unable to independently verify the tolls.
Right now, we have a number of 490 confirmed protester deaths. That includes 8 children. And we are still right now investigating over 500 additional cases. So that means that should we confirm all of these numbers, the number of those killed will exceed 1,000. And that's in just 15 days, which is, it's extraordinary. The same with the arrests. We have documented over 10,600 arrests, but we have many cases that we are still verifying. We have seen the use of lethal force indiscriminately against protesters. And we have evidence of close range gunshot wounds. We have evidence of tear gassing. We have evidence of military grade weapons being deployed on individuals protesting in the streets. And this is absolutely unacceptable. It's a serious violation of not only international law, but it's something that the international community must condemn, and in a united way. We are incredibly concerned about, statements even from today from the head of the police calling for increased repression. We fear that that means that we have a situation where hundreds of people have been killed, and then we have a police chief saying that repression must increase, and so we're really fearful what that may mean, and we're watching that very closely. It's always a concern when we see that initial, full internet shutdown, because what happens is we start to see increased violence. We start to see things happening behind this veil of sort of secrecy, and it's usually an indicator for us that analyze from the outside that this is when the regime intends to really start their crackdown, and that is evident in the last couple of days when the internet was shut down and connectivity was restricted with the outside world. We began to see increased violence, and I think there's always a connection there. We've heard on the ground that after 8 p.m. even the landlines are cut, so people aren't able to communicate in that way, which not only is a violation. People have a right to have access to information, but this also inhibits things like seeking appropriate medical care. If you're not able to communicate or to call an ambulance or to do anything that requires communication among one another, then it creates a more dire situation. Something that's so incredible, though, in that vein, is that as the internet has been cut, as phone lines have been cut, we are still seeing massive gatherings. So people are continuing to organize despite, this lack of connectivity. We have documented over 90 forced confessions that have aired on state television. And I think that it's really important to highlight this issue. These individuals are, arbitrarily arrested. They are transferred to unknown locations. They are tortured psychologically and physically. And oftentimes these confessions are used in their trials against them. And they often serve as justifications to sentence them to death. And we've seen this is a pattern, but we've never seen it in these numbers. And it's really concerning. We have obtained documentation from inside hospitals of individuals being victim of close range gunshot wounds, of tear gas, and these individuals have been taken out of medical facilities and transferred to detention facilities without proper medical care. And this is also something that we're watching very closely. Obviously, individuals are guaranteed the right to adequate health care and to medical treatment, and depriving those individuals of medical care prior to transferring them to a detention facility is absolutely torture and ill treatment under international law. And I think it's something that we really have to focus on. In terms of where these protests go, that's really up to people on the ground. And I think that we need to just continue to stand in solidarity with them, to put their safety at the center of everything that we're doing, to make sure that we're maintaining a historical record of what's going on, of the deaths that have happened, of the arrests that have happened, and also the perpetrators involved. The comments from the regime that these individuals are sort of, random acts of terror, and all of these people associated with perhaps, foreign governments, whether it be Israel or the United States. It's why we're so concerned about the number of arrests, because when we have individuals that are arrested in this context, and they are charged with espionage, or they are charged with, propaganda against the regime, or whatever it may be, these are charges that carry very, very heavy sentences, often the death penalty. And so we are monitoring that very closely.
Very clearly and seriously, the President of the United States officially and publicly announced it, and both threatened and acted against Iran. There are some people who openly consider themselves mercenaries of foreigners and betray their own country just to please the President of the United States. They are attacking people's shops, acting in the style of ISIS, and they don't even show mercy to women and children. And the foolish and delusional American said that Mashhad has fallen. As long as there are people like Martyr Shoshdari, their children, the children of the Imam of the Revolution, and the children of Iran, their restless dreams will never come true. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Let the enemies of Iran, those who harbor ill will and seek to undermine its stability, know this truth. Let the enemies of Islam, those who distort its sacred teachings and sow discord, also be fully aware.